Indiana Fever, Connecticut Sun, new rivalry. I'm paying attention to WNBA action on a Tuesday night in June. What the hell sort of bizarro world are we living in right now? The fact that she's fouled hard, the fact that there's legitimate animosity with other players around the league, this is not a Caitlin Clark getting poked in the eye, inciting what I would term a massive brawl for women's basketball sakes. That's what happened last night. As you see right here, Caitlin Clark gets the eye gouge from J.C. Sheldon, and then Marina Mabrey coming in with what looked in full speed like a full body check that sends Caitlin Clark flying to the ground. But really, when you slow it down and look at it, pretty good job of acting by Caitlin Clark to get a big response. And boy, oh boy, did she get a huge response. She got a big response online from people defending Caitlin Clark. She got a big response in the game, where later in the game, J.C. Sheldon had a breakaway and Sophie Cunningham, her new teammate, decided to take her out. That was the most impressive part of all of this back and forth. Indiana Fever, Connecticut Sun, new rivalry. I'm paying attention to WNBA action on a Tuesday night in June. What the hell sort of bizarro world are we living in right now? But that is our reality, because Caitlin Clark is a headline grabber, and Caitlin Clark hate is its own cottage industry. And we're seeing that night after night. The Dallas Cowboys have long been known as America's team. I'm here to tell you right now, the Indiana Fever are becoming America's team. For the amount of people shouting from the rooftops in joy that Caitlin Clark fought back and that Sophie Cunningham, her new teammate, fought back against this. There's a lot of different avenues to go where we can take this with Caitlin Clark. Here's the one place I want to go first, though. That is her popularity. Over the last 24 hours, Caitlin Clark is the highest trending athlete on X with 24,000 posts. She's been mentioned by the Real Madrid manager. She's been mentioned by Jared Verse, who I know we have what Jared Verse had to say about standing on business with Sophie Cunningham. Sophie Cunningham, also an extremely popular WNBA star amongst the male demographic. I'll let the men out there figure out why that might be, but Sophie Cunningham is definitely a star. And she became a bigger star because she protected the star. Who is the star? It's Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark is printing money for the rest of the WNBA. Wayne Gretzky was the guy in hockey that no one ever touched for years and years. And everyone would say, oh, he wasn't touched because every team he played on had an enforcer, a goon, so to speak, that would go out and beat the living shit out of somebody if they mess with Wayne Gretzky. The truth is, and it's been said by many hockey stars years later, is that hockey players did not touch Wayne Gretzky because Wayne Gretzky made them money. Because without Wayne Gretzky, they knew they wouldn't be making as much money as they were. Because Wayne Gretzky was the star. And that's why they didn't touch Wayne Gretzky. And they didn't hurt Wayne Gretzky. Now, let's look at the WNBA and Caitlin Clark. Who is set to make WNBA players more money? Is it Angel Reese, the author of the Me Bound? The Me Bound that she's now going to copyright, and she's trying to get all the rights to it so she can glorify the Me Bound? Basically a made-up stat for someone who can't hit layups? No, it's not Angel Reese. Does Angel Reese help add to the legend that is Caitlin Clark? For sure. Caitlin Clark is going to print money for the rest of the WNBA. Part of that money printing factory, that is Caitlin Clark, and her star appeal is that she is seen as the white hat in the Western. And every town she rolls into, every town has a saloon with a bunch of goons that come in and try to rough her up. And they hate her. They hate her because they ain't her. Let's be clear about that, right? It's jealousy. That's why they don't like Caitlin Clark. They don't like the attention she gets. They think they're as good at basketball as she is. Even though she continues to set records on the court, other players don't care. They just simply don't like her. They don't like her not because they don't like her personally. It's because they don't like what they see her as representing, which is red state America, Donald Trump loving, new to the WNBA people all over the country. and they do not like that. Christian Schneider on X posted this, which I found very funny. Says, Caitlin Clark did for sports what Donald Trump did for politics. Brought in a lot of new people who had never paid attention before and have no idea how anything works. Now, that's very funny. I do disagree, though. Caitlin Clark didn't bring people to sports that didn't understand or know sports. Caitlin Clark brought sports fans to women's basketball, a place they would have made fun of before. Let's be honest about it. They would have been very misogynistic, most of these fans, about the women's game. They would not have liked it, didn't appreciate it. And then this little white girl in Iowa starts knocking down threes from right in front of half court, and everyone's suddenly interested. And it's not just because she's white. It's not just because she's from Iowa. It's not just because it's the package of everything. She's a great player that a lot of people around America can look at and say, boy, if Caitlin Clark can do it, maybe my daughter could do it. Maybe I could have done it when I played. Maybe someone else I know can do it. And that's not a bad thing. Here's the other thing that's definitely not a bad thing in this Caitlin Clark story. And it's something that most everyone is railing against. The fact that she's fouled hard at times, the fact that there's legitimate animosity with other players around the league, this is not a bad thing. Okay? Let's watch the video one more time from last night. She gets a quick little graze across the eye during the game. She's talking trash to the other team. Opponent comes up, gives her a little chest bump. She goes flying. She took a flying, this was a very much WWE move. She's taking a flying leap on a very small hit because it surprised her, and she wanted to sell it. I don't care. She can do that all she wants. I don't care that the girl chest bumped her. The league will care if she gets massively injured. If there's some sort of injury that knocks her out for a long period of time, that's where everybody's going to have a problem because their ratings will be affected, which immediately will cut into their interest and eventually will lead to less money for everyone across the league and less money for the teams in the league. But this level of hate, this thing that the NBA does not have right now, which is a villain or villains. And again, the villains, everyone who plays Caitlin Clark, that's it. And I mean everybody. Caitlin Clark is the white hat. She's a good guy riding into town for a lot of people. And everyone else she plays that hates her, by the way, not just white and black. Look at the two girls who roughed her up last night. Two white girls. Everybody hates Caitlin Clark. And Caitlin Clark, you know what she says back to him? I'll do whatever the F I want. And that's what she was caught on camera saying. Girl said, don't do that. She said, I'll do whatever the bleep I want. Good for you. Hell yes. I love it. I love the attention it's getting. I love that we have something else to talk about this time of year. I think it's terrific for the sport. I think it's terrific for interest in it. And the WNBA needs to capitalize. Now, the one caveat to all of this is you can't get too rough with her. And I don't want to make Caitlin Clark out to be some shrieking violet that can't protect herself or some princess out there. She's fine. She can handle herself. She can defend herself. And what she's been done to so far has not crossed the line to, wow, they're going to maim her at some point. But if they do, that's going to be a huge problem.